Hi everybody. Welcome. Something happened here on the Facebook one. So give me a quick second here. Something happened. Give me a quick moment. Welcome Instagram, welcome YouTube. We're going to get started here in a moment. Give me a quick second. Something happened here with my something weird happened with my English Facebook site. So just bear with me for a quick moment and we'll get started here in a quick moment. So, yes, and yes. So we'll see it here. All right. I think it's working now. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Hey, all right. Now we're ready. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Sunday from wherever you are. Hopefully you had a phenomenal Thanksgiving weekend. And if you did, super amazing. All right. I hope that you had a great time with your loved ones, with, the people that you care the most about, and that you had a wonderful, wonderful time. So Instagram, great to have you guys here. YouTube, welcome again. And then Facebook, welcome. All right. Hey, I'm going to be talking about the seven streams of income that you could be generating, as a real estate investor. And if you're really, if you're really interested on adding more, streams of income within the same, industry. Okay. So let's get started. As is usual, every single Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, we like to come up live so that we get to share some, specifics of, how is it that you can better your life through real estate investing. So we're going to be talking about 7 streams of income that you could be obviously adding into your repertoire. And then, you'll realize on which ones is it that I'm working, and which ones is it that I actually have my hands on. And then from there, you could actually go ahead and, become much more proficient on adding additional streams of income. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. As I share them with you, go ahead and collaborate with me. Let me know what's your takeaway. What type of streams do you have currently going on? And if it's just one, we're gonna be talking towards the end how dangerous it is when you only have one type of stream of income, especially nowadays, okay, with uncertainties and things of that nature in the market. Okay, so let's get started with, income type number one. Income type number one, it's earned income. And earned income is the income that you actually go and work, to a job as an employee. And there's nothing wrong being an employee. I was an employee and I'm still am of my own company now. But back then I was an employee of somebody else. And the interesting thing is, you need to understand what is the differences of it. That's earned income. That means you actively have to go to work. You actively have to go and exchange either time for money. That means you're going to need to earn it. And usually it's in a way of an employment, right? So that's number one. Okay. Now, interesting enough, okay, I want you to know that the earned income that basically we as an employees have to work for, it's usually the highest tax one. Now, I got to give you a disclaimer right now. I'm not a CPA and I'm not an attorney. So therefore, just so that you know that anything that I share today is going to be strictly for educational purposes and not with the intention to give you any legal advice or anything, tax advice or anything. It's just for purposes of education and for you to understand the different types of, streams of income that you either are actively right now participating or that you should be thinking on which ones you want to be in and you want to add into your success toolbox. All right. So anyways, so we talked about the earned income. The second type, it's the commission income. Now, in the commission income, you're going to have to become a real estate agent, a licensed real estate agent, if you really want to, in this case, represent buyers and sellers and earned a commission, okay? And earned a commission. Many people decide to go that route. As a matter of fact, I was a real estate agent and a broker in my, in my earlier time, in my first decade. Obviously, I decided not to continue with it. I lost my license just, so that due to a bad partnership that I had back then. And today, honestly, I don't need it. As a real estate investor, is not needed as long as you don't represent buyers and sellers. The moment you're working for a commission, the moment your income is based on commission by representing buyers and sellers, it is the moment that you're going to need, obviously, a real estate license. Okay. Anyways, that's the second one. The third one, it's profit income. That's the one that I'm in. Okay. And I'm actually in the first one as well, because as I mentioned, as earn income from a job, I obviously, my company, which in this case is Properties 180, pays me as an employee, but I'm the CEO and I'm an employee of my own company. So, for purposes of making sure that, I comply obviously with certain things that needs to be complied. All right. So anyways, the second one was the commission. On that one, I don't participate because I don't, I'm not an agent. I'm not a broker. And then the third one is profit income. Profit income is when you buy and sell real estate. When you buy and sell real estate. That one we're in. Obviously, we buy and sell real estate. We don't represent any buyers or sellers, but we do buy, we do renovate, and then we do sell them. So that is profit income. Okay. That was I think it was number 3. Number 4 is it's interest income. From lending, from when you either do a seller carryback or when you lend some of your own money, or you may lend your own profit, things of that nature. I'll give you an example. We sold a property where I actually lended, the profits of the deal. So, we bought the property, we sold it, and the profit that the deal generated was actually, financed, in this case, to the buyer as a seller carryback. So that's when you get to earn, interest on your own money. So the great thing about earning income, as in this case, as a loan, it's because, you don't have to, work for it. You put your money to go and work for you. Okay. So that's pretty cool, because now we're entering into the passive side, and you'll understand that there's, 2 classifications of income per se, but or I shouldn't confuse you, because I know I'm going to confuse you. Towards the end, I'm going to share obviously the differences of why, certain income it's better than the other, and why it's important to have, in my opinion, is important to have both. Okay. But anyways, let's continue with it. So we got number 5. Okay. Number 5 is going to be the royalties income. Royalties income is when, you either have a book that you are basically getting royalties from, or an idea or a service or a product, or, a business that you sold and you just negotiated that you were going to get, X amount of royalties. For instance, I used to own a tea company. It was a tea and a coffee company and direct sales industry. Sold it about 4 or 5 years ago to a big major conglomerate out of Southern California. And we agreed that for 8 years, they were going to give us royalties, for 8 years. So we got maybe about 4 more, maybe about 4 more years that they got to obviously produce royalties. Hey, that's also true, if you got any, it doesn't have to be a company. It could be, like I said, it could be a course, it could be a book, it could be an idea, it could be a product, it could be whatever, some sort of an idea that that it's kicking butt and making some great some great business. Anyways, so that's royalty income. Okay. And that's something that you will get passively throughout time. And then we got number 6, capital gains. Capital gains is when you basically buy an asset, buy a real estate property, and you either, in this case, sell it. Usually when you sell it, when you own it for more than a year and you sell it, that's when you kick in with capital gains. That's when you either exchange it for a bigger thing, or you're going to, in this case, is going to be considered as a capital gain income. And we've had several of those where we hold them for X amount of time and then we sell them. And then obviously we get that, capital gain income, and it's amazing, because usually the asset grows equity. And especially if you bought it already with equity, imagine you got already equity built in, plus it grows more equity during time. That's super cool, right? Because now you're getting the double upside right there. And then if you exchange it for something bigger, then you can get maybe the triple upside, right? So, but that's the 6th in this case, the sixth stream of income. And then we got the seventh stream of income, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the rental income. I love the rental income, by the way. And I can tell you straight out that the more doors that you have, obviously, the more income that you're going to generate. And it's a passive, especially if you have somebody else that is managing it. Okay. If you manage it yourself, then maybe it doesn't go as passive as you would want to, right? So it's really up to you. All the time I get asked, Raul, what type of streams of income should I have? And I'm going to tell you, listen, you should have as many as you know that as many as you know that you need, based on the goals that you want to achieve, based on the goals that you are seeking to. Okay, in my case, out of the seven, I have on six of them. Okay, the only one that I don't participate on, it's in the commissions. Why? Because I'm not a real estate agent, and due to that nature, I don't participate on it. Now, maybe in the future, one day, possibly if I get my license or anything, but for now, all I can tell you is that, the more income or income streams that you have, you have much more control of your finances and your freedom. And what I mean by that, especially in today's craziness, guess what? If you only depend on one stream of income, you're in trouble. And the reason, unless your company that you're with, or unless whatever is it that you're doing is mega strong, unless unless you own sort of like an Amazon type of business, but even so, it's scary when you only have one stream of income, because if that one stream dries, then that's it. It's gone. And I can tell you from experience, I remember last recession, I only had one income that was a solid income, and I saw it dried up like this, like in minutes. And it seemed certainly in minutes. It wasn't in minutes, but it was almost like if it was in minutes. And therefore, it's scary. Now, keep this in mind. Those are the seven types of income streams. Now, the two classifications that you are going to hear out there is when you have active income and passive income. In other words, active, it takes time, it takes energy of your day, and you're usually having to be there in order to generate that income. Okay. Now, passive income is income that you don't have to be there. You don't have to be present. You don't have to put energy, as the active side. And that's the one where, your asset is working for you, or your money is working for you, or you're in partnership with somebody else that, they're actually doing all the operation side of it, and you're more in a passive role. Okay. So having that said, ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you is that we like to be in both roles. We like to generate, in this case, in the active side, and as well as in the passive side. I believe personally that both are important. And the reason being, it's because if you want to continue to build more passive, you're going to need, the active one, so that you can make on the active side and bring it into the passive side. So it's really up to you. A lot of people, they go for passive only, and that's perfectly fine. I found out that it took me heck of a long time just to build the passive side, just from the very beginning. I think there's got to be both, in parallel, so that you can build them, with greatness, and be able to obviously enjoy both. But you got to obviously build them both if you truly, seriously looking to eventually be able to have, a great passive side. Why? Because we got to capitalize. We got to capitalize on the active mode. And then that active mode gives us for the passive side, or the passive mode. Anyways, congratulations for being here with me today. Have a phenomenal one, and continue to, hey, the weekend doesn't finish until basically 12 midnight tonight. All right. So a virtual hug from wherever you are. And always remember that there's always more, that there's always a better way. And truly, at the end, it only depends on you. Get to see you next Sunday. Thank you so much.